Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy back at it again, and today I'm gonna be playing this 2017 Expo deck with the new edition of the minions. If you guys remember, back in 2017, Inferno Expo was like the rage with the Electro Wizard. Electro Wizard is so good with Expo, so good for the reset. I'm running minions because they do so much damage. It honestly is so much pressure in single elixir. And without further ado, just gonna hop into the first game here. And as you guys will see, I love to split minions in the back and then just go Xbow with my one singular minion. They will put something down on the two minion side, and the two minions will fully counter, and then the one minion of support is literally enough. Like, watch this, guys. I'm just gonna put minions here, split the minions, and I'm gonna go Xbow right side. They're gonna arrow the two minions, so now they're effectively down like two elixir, and I have the minion, so I'm just gonna E-Wiz on this. And look at this one minion go to town on this Valkyrie. Like, we have the stun from the E-Wiz slowing it down. And just like that, guys, he puts down a Dark Gob. And, I mean, that's just going to get taken out. He's at 0 elixir. We have half an Expo. And he's wishing us good game already. I mean, it's literally as easy as that. We could have pre-placed tonight. Could have done better on that. A little bat tick on the Expo. So we do get half the tower there. And we're still up significant elixir. And honestly, I could just Fireball cycle from here. And the defense in this deck is excellent, guys. With the Inferno Tower and the Fireball Log and the minions, plus the E-Wiz, it really takes care of, like, any issues. And yeah, so we're just gonna log it out. We're gonna go aggressive right here. I see it's a deep barrel, and I think I'm gonna let the minion counter it, and I'm just gonna go in for the offense again. Every elixir here matters. He did afford the Valkyrie, so I was kind of impressed there that he went in at 10 elixir. But we're just gonna log away. I wish I logged on the right side. We would have got some good damage there. But yeah, so good play by him. I guess he got like a shot or two on the goblins plus the Dark Gob. But yeah, alternatively, you could also edit this deck. Take out the knight, put in a Valkyrie, or put in a 3 or 4 elixir tank of your choice. But honestly, I just like the knight because for 3 elixir is just so solid. And the cycle of this deck is already a bit heavier than most Expo decks, so I do really like the light cycle capabilities that the knight provides here. So I'm just going to minions, and I'm going to knight. The barrel is not in the back. I thought there was a chance in the back, so not the best defense by us there. But again, guys, it doesn't really matter just because he can only do so little chip damage, and we have so much force with our Xbow minions push, especially when they have Rocket. Minions just get so much value. So he's going to sack Rocket there. He's going to completely miss the tower. So we're going to put Skeletons a bit too far wide, but that's fine. So as you can see, the minions here are just going to maul through the bats and maul through the Tesla. Tesla doesn't even have enough time to whittle down the Expo, so we're going to get a little bit of chip damage. Not the best play by us there because we did fat finger the Skeletons on to the right. Should have placed them earlier. Just going to counter this with the E-Wiz, and a bit late. I haven't used E-Wiz in a couple years at least. Really haven't used E-Wiz since when I used to play back in the day. So it's definitely going to take a little bit of practice, but I do love having it drop down to zap whenever you play it. And there's a lot of potential when you can, you know, just clip things barely with your zap and still have them walk out. So it's pretty useful card. I must say I love it. So just like that, guys, this is going to be it for the first game. I'm just going to hop in straight into the second game. I'm doing a classic challenge here, and unfortunately can't afford a grand challenge for each video just yet, just because I am free to play. And honestly, these opponents in classic challenges, just because I honestly feel that because I win most of the classic challenges, it gives me definitely harder opponents than if I was to start losing. So right off the bat, we're getting some pretty decent opponents here. This guy does start spamming us out. So I'm thinking I'm going to sack the damage on the right. He's at 0 elixir. And I'm going to delay as much as I can the baby dragon on the left side. Sorry, I meant to say sack damage on the left. So, and then here we're just going to take all the damage on the right side. Kind of do a little bit of a tower trade. We're going to get more damage. And I calculated this when I saw 2 of the dragons plus the Dark Prince. I knew that was 12 elixir. He has 0 elixir in hand. And as long as I could protect my Expo, which I could, because the Inferno Drag is completely useless when there's an E-Wiz on it. So just like that, we do get most of the damage out. And 1 minute into the game, we're up 1,000 damage, and the tower's pretty much dead. We're going to split minions here again. And I wouldn't be even surprised if this guy just gave up. In fact, he does give up. And I'm just going to end the game here, guys, because it's pretty easy to defend here. So we're just going to skip on to the next game. And yeah, I'll see you guys there. And hopping straight in. Yeah, there I got the win. I'm going to battle again. And I'm going against the GP Hans 420. Interesting numbers there. Gonna split skeletons because we don't have our Xbow and cycle. I see our Xbow and cycle next, so I'm gonna put the minions in the back, of course. And there he goes in with the bomber. So I think I'm gonna put the Xbow on the left side, but then I see he goes E-Giant. So I'm gonna go in here still just because I can afford an Inferno. I'm feeling pretty confident about this push. He does block my Xbow, and unfortunately, I think I'm just gonna have to let that die. I'm just gonna trade evenly on the defense here. Gonna log out just to make sure the Inferno Tower kills the E-Giant. I do know the placement has to be pretty far away from the E-Giant because if the E-Giant hits in range, the Inferno's pretty much dead. And I haven't used Inferno in quite a while, so I just wanted to be safe there with my first Inferno on the E-Giant. But I do think we would have gotten away without it. And here he's going to cycle his Goms in the back. We're just going to put the Knight down to kill the Goms and start cycling back to our Xbow. Possibly go in with this Knight. And I'm thinking, okay, so he's going to go in with the cannon. I'm going to go in all the way, apply a lot of pressure at the bridge. And really what this does is it doesn't let them spam into you at the bridge when you put the minions down. But it also just takes away, like, I don't know, the minions, if they don't spell them down, just get so much value, I feel like. Kill everything. We're going to put skeletons just in case he decides to dash. He does not, so good play on him because that would have been a waste of 1 elixir. So, yeah, not the easiest start for us as in our previous games. We're still about even. But that's fine, guys. This deck only gets better and better, honestly. With the Inferno Tower, the more elixir you have, the better. I feel like your defense is, the less of a chance they have breaking through. And, yeah, so he puts an E-Giant in the back. Unfortunately, I do not have my Xbow and cycle, so I'm actually going to quickly cycle back to it, make it lock onto the tower. And he does put a cannon down. So not the best use of a cannon, but now he does deny the damage of the Xbow. And I feel I'm pretty confident in his defense, and I choose to not even go for an Inferno Tower. And then when he places those goblins, I feel even better that I get the log off. And he does not hit the E-Wiz there. And that makes this defense really spotless for us and really easy. And I definitely feel up a little bit of elixir, and I just want to get back to my Xbow and go in. So try to cycle the skeletons to apply extra pressure on the left side. He does get back to an E-Giant. And we're going to minions the left side as soon as we can just to make sure we don't dash. I'm going to put the E-Wiz down. And then, unfortunately, the E-Wiz does not want to walk towards the cannon. It's fine hitting the E-Giant as is. So that Xbow is dead. It's not going to get any damage. We're going to put skeletons on top of our E-Wiz just to make sure it doesn't take any hits. And then we're honestly going to go in. And he goes in at the same time. We go in on the middle there, which is fine by us. We're just going to Inferno Tower this pretty high, pretty early. Hopefully catch him off guard. He does mirror it, and I was not expecting to mirror. So now I'm feeling, okay, you can't afford the lightning for quite a while. So he keeps putting down units, and he can't quite afford lightning. I'm just going to log this back. And luckily that E-Giant does get melted by Inferno Tower. So massive value Inferno Tower for us there, going through 2 E-Giants. And we're just going to go in off that. And he's not back to E-Giant immediately, but he is able to cycle back to it. So, which is fine by us because I'm, again, confident we don't need an E-Giant to defend this. I'm going to put a log to kill the bomber and kill everything else. And just going to E-Wiz on this. And we're up a little bit of damage with a minute and 30 to go. So I'm feeling like we just need to break through. Or just defend, honestly. So we're just going to fireball cycle a little bit. We don't hit the cannon there. But one of our minions, this always happens, guys. The tower targets the middle minion, but the left minion always gets damage. So much damage for us there. Probably like 300-400 damage from those 2 minion shots. And just like that, we're just going to lock on because he wasted his lightning thinking he could lightning cycle us. And we're going to get a lock on the right. Of course, this is healthy tower, and he's going to bomber. So we're going to go in on the left end, and we're going to predict some light unit. I was hoping for a cannon there, but unfortunately, he puts a golden knight, but he did have a poor tornado that allowed our Inferno to kick in there. So once again, we're going opposite lane, and he does get the mirror down in time because I didn't have the fast reaction. He predicted my Inferno Tower, so good for him. But unfortunately, I don't think that is going to be enough to break through just because there's not really enough force, and the combination of E-Wizzes plus like the pull of a tower is going to be enough to take it out because it stalls the E-Giant for so long. And he gets pretty decent lightning off there, but we're back to another Inferno Tower. There's 22 seconds left, and we're only up 800 damage because he's been lightning cycling slowly. And I see he mirrors the lightning, so at this point I realize he's just going to try to mirror 2 more lightning. So we got to go in all the way. We're just going to have to put a bunch of units down. I'm going to fireball for the damage, and I'm going to E-Wiz log just to make sure I get some tower damage. And as you can see, he's not able to come back, and we do apply enough pressure to get the damage because cycling 2 lightnings is like 13 elixirs. Pretty ridiculous strategy. Pretty much I just have to put any units at the bridge. And yeah, we do seal off the win against a pretty meta deck there. And like I said, guys, another good thing about this deck is not only is there so much pressure with the minions, is another good thing is they don't know what deck you're running. And a lot of times they're confused when they see Ewiz, Inferno. It could often mean minor. And you can catch some people off guard going Xbow. And I really feel like the early game presence is here with Xbow. And that's something that's been missing in today's meta is early game Xbows. I do try to go for a starting hand on this play, and honestly, he goes down with a pretty good counter for our Xbow, and you're going to see, just because the minions do so much damage, we do get a tiny lock, even with a Mighty Miner cannon onto our Xbow, and no tank, we get a tiny lock because the Xbow survives longer than a Mighty Miner and a cannon, so that's pretty ridiculous, I thought. And the minions, of course, keep applying pressure, so we do fully counter there on our Ewiz. I got to resist the urge to keep placing it early, because with the log, you have to place a lot faster than you do with the zap. So, yeah, we're just split skeletons in the back, cycle back to our Xbow, and start going in for a bit of a bigger push here. And I don't want to put my knight and my Xbow together, because I know he's going to rocket. And we're just going to keep baiting out the rocket. So this is definitely not the easiest matchup for us, but definitely winnable too. Inferno Tower doesn't get the most amount of value here, but we do get a lot of value with our Ewiz onto his Mighty Miner, and our minions are going to offer us a lot of utility, especially single elixir. And if we can predict his princesses, he's going to have a really hard time defending some of our minion pushes, I think. So, yeah, we're going to see if we can make some of that happen. Just going to predict the princess here, and I hesitate too much, and he does go for it. I should usually place at 8 or 9 elixir, and for some reason I did not place. And I am just going to go immediately right lane. I know his log is out of cycle, so he's just down 2 elixir. I'm going to fireball here because he goes down for a cannon. And luckily he places goblins into it. Pretty often when they place a cannon, they know it's insufficient if they place it late. So they will place something else right there in front of it also. And yeah, so we get a pretty good lock there. He uses a pretty good ability on us. Like, I always forget about the Mighty Miner ability, whether I'm the one playing it or whether someone else is playing it. So I never think about that. Just because Mighty Miner is such a useful card, I forget that he even has an ability. I'm not going to fireball that, even though I could. I'm just going to Ewiz. A bit of an overcommit, but I do kind of want the left-hand side pressure here. Unfortunately, the princess does get shots on her minions, so the minions do go down. And but the Ewiz is going to bait out the cannon, and we're going to fully counter. I'm going to Inferno Tower here just so we have it on the field later for his princess. And he does still go with the princess for some reason to apply pressure, but we have like so much elixir that pretty bad princess in my opinion. And he's going to keep trying to defend it with goblins, which I think is so bad because he keeps overcommitting on defense. He can't afford a rocket immediately there, so he chooses to trying to overwhelm us at the bridge. But that was a bad decision because he underestimated how much elixir we had. And just like that, guys, the tower's going to be in fireball range. We're going to take it out. Easy game. Yeah, so this player didn't do a good job using his rocket at all. He didn't use it on our tower, and he never really even put it on our Xbow except the first one. So this is going to make us 6-0 in this classic challenge. And yeah, I'm just going to skip to this game, guys. And you guys can see I'm playing against Royal Giant, Hog, E-Barbs. And super close matchup, by the way. Despite me going, I tried to starting hand him, and he put E-Barb's Hog at the bridge. And that starting hand resulted really poorly for me. So yeah, really close game here. I'm just showing you guys the end of what it looked like most of the time. He was just spamming the bridge. I'm just trying to cycle down my cards. And no rocket or lightning. Kind of made the queen really hard to defend at times. So I lost by like 30 or 40, 50, 45 damage there. And fireball was in the air. So really close game. But that is going to be my first loss. Just want to show you guys what my losses were about. And yeah, hopping into our next game here. Playing against probably some Japanese player. I'm just going to go in for a knight in the back. I do like to keep my E-Wizard in hand. I think it's pretty standard protocol with most decks. You want to keep your, I guess, your HGC, your high damage carry, your ranged high damage, low health unit in your hand for defense. That is where those units get the most value. So pretty standard with every deck. Just going to keep it in my hand as usual, whether it's the Dark Gob, the E-Wiz, or the Queen. Unless I know it's safe to use it. So he goes in right here. I'm going to Inferno Tower. I'm going to put those skeletons just to make sure that one skeleton kind of stays to the left and behind the Royal Giant, so it doesn't like magically distract my Inferno. Because the Inferno is such a great card, guys, but at the same time, at times it's like one skeleton can end your Inferno's life and your whole game, really. So we're going to go in with this Knight here. It was a bit of an overcommit, but he's not back to E-Giant, so really good lock by us. And he does actually stall it out really well there afterwards, so props to him. But, oh, no, he doesn't. I feel like the Royal Ghost is so, like, not clutch when it comes to, like, appearing and disappearing in time. Super slow. And, yeah, so we get a small lock there. And the Hunter also takes one shot. Unfortunately, one shot is not enough to kill it. It's almost equivalent. So I guess Zap does a tiny bit more damage than a minion shot. So that's good to know. But, yeah, here I'm probably gonna go in for my log or my Knight. I am gonna see if he goes in for an RG. He puts it in the back, so we're just gonna cycle Knight in the back. I don't want to pre-place my Inferno too late, especially with Inferno as a defensive building. It does last on the map for a long time, but that doesn't mean that it's good to place it early, especially because of its large radius. They can put bats or something and predict. So we can go in for a high Inferno here. Unfortunately, it does lock onto the what's called the Fisher guy, the hooker, and we still do get the defense because Minion's DPS is absolutely crazy. And I'm going to go in for a defensive Xbow here just because I feel like he is going to go for an RG in the back, and he does do so. And I'm now thinking up to this point, if I get up into that situation again, I might try and predict his RG, especially if I have a feeling as to how much elixir he's at. So we're going to use skeletons. Unfortunately, we kind of missed, so we had to overcommit onto the log there. So we're going to Fireball Tower again to get the damage. I'm not planning on placing Inferno, as you can see there. Unfortunately, the RG does get a shot, so I'm kind of annoyed at that. And I hit him with the oops. And put the skeletons down just to stall for a little bit more. Then I take out the Hunter with the log, and I defend my E-Wiz. And again, it gets one more shot, and I'm super annoyed by this. And I overcommit the minions late. At this point, I'm thinking, okay, he got 2 shots back-to-back, and my tower is at 2063. We're only up like a little bit less than 400 damage, so I gotta start doing 2 different things. One is I gotta start using my Inferno on defense to make sure he doesn't get any shots, and then 2, I gotta start going opposite lane with my Xbow when he goes with his Roller Giant. So that's really annoying because right there you saw him get another shot. So now it's a super close game because I haven't been using my Inferno, kind of been paranoid about the lightning. And also he's been doing a good job of spamming. Right there, guys, I do go in my Xbow, and I do predict his RG. And at this point, I do think it's game. I put down skeletons for the Fisher, which I knew was coming. And then really, like, Knight minions, there's absolutely nothing you can do. I'm just spamming at this point because I know you can't afford a lightning. So I'm just spamming the bridge, making sure I take everything out. And, yeah, there's going to be a fat lock for us. We're going to Inferno Tower, and I know he can't afford a lightning still. So really bad RG now on his point. And we're going to stall out for just a little bit longer just so we can get it down to fireball range. And just like that, we need 2 logs and a fireball, I do believe. I do think I checked the numbers here. And I actually didn't check the numbers. And, yeah, it's going to make this game a little bit scary just because I should have logged first and then fireballed. But also, either way, it's kind of scary with the, with having to cycle back 4 more cards when there's like an RG at your bridge already. But nonetheless, good game by us. We made the right prediction. And that's what I've been realizing, guys, is that at the top level, all these games are really just about predicting the opponent. If you can get a prediction like that, as you saw, turned what was really into a really close game to seemingly effortless play, as long as you can just predict one important placement. And if you think about it, there's really nothing they can do about it on prediction. I mean, it could be unpredictable. But, yeah. So going into this game, I'm protecting my Xbow with my life. And usually this is not such a good idea, especially when, like, 3 of the goblins lock on. But because minions have such high DPS, and the Knight is one-shotting the goblins, we do get a pretty decent log here. And the log is not going to be enough, so our Knight pulls off 2 more shots. And, yeah, really great game for us here. And then... great start. I am going to go with the minions here. Unfortunately, that is going to counter, so I don't have enough for a log. So now I'm a bit of a pickle here, and I'm just going to let the Xbow go. I'm going to log out the princess, stop the damage, and I'm going to skeletons in the middle, and I don't see anything you can do about that. He could, of course, predicted them with maybe like Goblin Gang in the middle or something, but yeah, I was really doubtful of people in Classic Challenges being able to do that. Honestly, I feel like 99 plus percent of the population play pretty much no predictions whatsoever, except maybe a log down the bridge for a Skarmy. But yeah, as you guys can see, a trend in this video is I'm completely not defending my Goblin Barrels. And as you can see there, I do kind of am ready for the Princess, and the minions are going to apply a ton of pressure here as a result. So we do fully counter his Mighty Miner and force the ability usage on that as well. So good play by us. I do realize I need to start actually defending the Goblin Barrels. I feel like the games have been so casual and nonchalant. I've been just taking the chip damage off the Goblin Barrels, defending them with minions like I'm in Arena 6 or something. I'm just going to log this out, get a log here. And yeah, he's kind of late on the Goblins, and that's going to be another massive log for us, guys. And we're just going to fireball this again, and he put it on the right. And just like that, the tower's going to be within 2 fireball ranges. So I am just going to end the game there because there's 43 seconds left, and he's no way going to take my tower with the Goblin Barrel. And we are 2 fireballs out, so I'm just going to skip forward towards the next game to keep the content interesting. I'm going to put probably in kind of an awkward hand. I don't want to play anything first when I get that hand. And again, still an awkward hand. Not back to our Skeletons or Log or Spirit, so that's kind of annoying. But yeah, I'm going to choose to defend everything here with a Inferno Tower. Whether or not that gets a shot doesn't really matter. And right here I'm thinking about the Skeletons once again. But I do realize it's only going to be some death damage. And I think the death damage is 55 at tournament standard. So honestly, it's like half an Ice Spirit. And I am just going to go ahead and take that. So this guy was probably thinking of playing Miner or something. And the surprise factor of Xbow right there. He goes in for a Skarmy. We are going to take the +1 trade there and get the lock a bit later. And at this point I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to have to defend. I'm just going to let the Xbow live. I'm a bit worried whenever I see the Night Witch. I'm really just thinking about like Fireball zapping it. So I see that for 2 elixir. There's no good counter in my hand. I'm just going to do this and then put Skeletons to distract. And I do think that should take it out. It doesn't take it out as fast as I wanted to. Luckily, the Ewas does survive, even with the arrows. And honestly, this is going to put us in a massive damage lead, I do think. But unfortunately, my Ewas decides to walk away. I don't know what it is. I feel like in 2017, the cards used to be... you know, if they target something, they'll get the job done. Nowadays, it's like, I don't know what it is. Like, the procrastination, the attention span is just so short. All the defensive cards, whether it's Queen or Electro Wizard, they quit. They quit on you. They just walk away. And it's super annoying. I feel like that never used to happen in 2017. But we still are in a damage lead, and there's a minute and 12 left. And honestly, we could probably Fireball cycle from here. I am going to go in opposite lane. I did meant to push that 1 unit to the left, but unfortunately I put it in the middle, and it is going to lock onto the Golem. So right here we're in a bit of a tough situation. I'm going to have to defend like a bit of a split lane pressure. And somehow, some way, this somehow, some way, neither of those bombers connected. I thought that was crazy. He was OP, I guess. So right here we get a really nice defense on the Inferno Tower. It kills everything. Bows bombers and the Golem. And tanks for the Night Witch. And then our Skeletons tank. And then, yeah, really good defense by us. He is going to put down another Golem because we can afford it. We're up Elixir for sure. So it should be a really easy Golem defense. But unfortunately, we're not going to break through with this Xbow. But we do need to go right side anyway. So we're defending here. I'm looking at the Knight. And I see that he lets this Knight slip as I defend. And then I'm just going to Fireball when he places that Night Witch to get it out. And now I'm just a log Fireball away. So I'm just going to go ahead and log. And then throw the last Fireball down. And that's going to be it for this game. And yeah, unfortunately I didn't have enough time to complete the next wins in the challenge. So in the future I'll be trying to bring you guys the end of the challenge rather than the start. Just because the games might be a bit more competitive. But yeah guys, thanks for watching. That's going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Try this deck out. And see ya.